Welcome to Brabus, the German auto-tuning powerhouse in the heart of the Rhine Valley. The company began back in 1977 as a manufacturer of tuning parts for Mercedes-Benz. Fast forward 50 years and I think it's fair to say things have evolved. Filmed over a couple of days and with the predictable German rain which explains the outfit changes, this is my time at Brabus. Over the Belgian pave, the shake, the rattle, it doesn't matter, not in a car like this. Wow. I'm petrified, but I'm excited. This car is incredible. Oh. I began with a tour of the factory from CEO Constantin Buschmann. Constantin took over the company from his late father, founder Bodo Buschmann, in 2018. Under his stewardship, Brabus is undergoing its most radical transformation to date, expanding their portfolio from only Mercedes to bespoke Range Rovers, Porsches, and whatever this thing is. And that's before you get to the myriad of motorcycles, powerboats, and even apparel. Brabus have set their sights on dominating the luxury sector, and nowhere is that more evident than when you see their incredible cars up close. What is the difference between a Brabus and a Brabus Rocket Edition?
The Rocket is our most well-known product labels, and the Rocket is always the highest end in terms of performance and the most aggressive end in terms of look. What do you drive today? 6x6, 4x4, Rocket R, and E2S. Wow. When we thought about the Rocket R, we were asking ourselves, is it possible to base a Brabus Rocket on another car than a Mercedes?
Right.
Can a Porsche 911 base supercar be a Brabus Rocket? And it's so fascinating to me that today this is more Rocket
It's redefining.
than I could ever imagine.
Redefining what the Rocket is to your brand.
It is our most aggressive product label.
Yeah.
And it just looks amazing.
Oh, it looks spectacular. So it begins life as a Turbo S, is that right?
We wanted to make a Brabus Rocket based on 911. We specifically chose the Turbo S as the version because we thought that is where we are as the brand. We do not want to compromise on comfort when we build a car. And so the Turbo S was where we saw our market. And the second thing that was very, very important to us, also to me personally, was I wanted a supercar with a lot of power, Brabus Rocket typical power, and no rear wing. I don't want a rear wing, but they still want comfort, they still want elegance, they want that luxury feel, and that's why I wanted a super sports car without a rear wing.
Well, I think you've done a great job of achieving that. You've made something which is all at once shouty and loud and big and bold and vibrant, but it's still understated. Same but different then. Can you talk to me a little bit about EQS over here?
One of the most advanced, technologically advanced cars in the world.
Oh yeah.
When we looked at it, thought about what can we do, we said, let's take a completely different approach. Let's take it to the wind tunnel. And let's see if we could actually improve the drag coefficient to increase its reach, to show that tuning, customization, can not only be bigger wheels or bigger exhaust, more noise, but it can also be thinking intelligently about working with the shape of a car to get more out of it. And that's what we did. I think we improved the drag coefficient by several percentage points.
Right.
We improved the reach of the car by several percentage points. And therefore it's a useful project.
In making the decision to tune an EV, Brabus are letting the world know that they aren't a one-trick pony. But as interesting as that all is, really, I'm here for one thing: G-Wagons. Brabus' most popular model and arguably what they're known best for today.
4x4 square, current generation. Of course, portable axle car, beautiful monoblock HD wheels. There's a lot of carbon fiber going down. It's got the Euro boots. A lot of the front, it can be recognized from cars like the G900 or the G800 Power Dome, the carbon fiber frame around the grille. And of course, one of my favorite parts of this car is the absolutely gorgeous interior. Now, it's called Superblack,
Right.
because when we designed it, just like every Superblack interior that we've done until now, we wanted to do an interior in just one color and try to use every single technology and every single technique in terms of craftsmanship for the interior that we have in our portfolio. So there is stitching, there is perforation, there is imprinting, leather, there is carbon fiber inside. There is so many details in the car.
Gorgeous, yes.
Oh yeah. That you only discover when you're driving the car for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You will find new details.
It's something that you have to drink in for a few minutes.
We are focusing on one. This is the one car that we're building for each given customer.
Come on then. It's about time we took a look at this.
6x6, of course the largest in our fleet, the perfect car.
When did you guys first think, we can actually do this, we can put a third axle?
Well, we
on
knew
a
that,
G-Wagon?
of course, the last generation 6x6 had been produced by AMG, and they were not going to make a new version of the 6x6. And that became clear very fast after the new G-Class 463A launched. Now, we looked at it and said, what can we do with the car? The first result was actually not this. The first result was the XLP. And then, of course, we did the P, which has got a lower pickup. And then, once we had done those, we said, if we've done this, can we actually build a 6x6?
Yeah.
But the main challenge became very quickly that we said, if we build a 6x6, we have to improve it. It has to be better than the last one.
Yeah.
And the answer to that power is right here.
Oh,
Because if you count the number of dampers, the number of if you look at the suspension, you will see that you've got independent suspension wheel by wheel on all 3 axles, which of course the last one didn't have.
Oh, it's a work of art. And
that makes this car an absolute beast for off-road use.
Constantin is a busy guy, and it wasn't long before he was whisked away to do CEO things. But before he left, he handed me the keys to a Masterpiece Edition XLP Adventure 6x6 and told me to go find the test track. Finally time to see what this monstrous vehicle drives like. Doesn't feel like you've got an extra 6 probably feet of car behind you. And yet here we are, 900 horsepower, 774 torque. That's an electronically limited number of torque, by the way. The actual engine is capable of well in excess of 900 pound-feet of torque, if you can believe it. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, listen to that. The turbo flutter, the flash of wastegate noise is just incredible. Oh my god. Oh my god, the power this thing has. I'll be honest, I don't know how much this thing weighs. Safe to say, definitely weighs probably in excess of 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. Oh my god, it just goes like a rocket, a literal rocket. 900 horsepower, 774 pound, 6-wheeled monster. Driving the 6x6 was an experience, though if I thought that was overpowered, nothing could have prepared me for the Rocket 900R. Whoever said that a Porsche Turbo S needed more horsepower? Well, Brabus, that's who. This is the Brabus 900 Rocket R. Brabus's arguably most exciting car of the past 12 months. It starts life, as I mentioned, as a Turbo S, a car which already had 640 horsepower, but Brabus said no, that is not enough, and that is why, as the name suggests, this car has 900 horsepower. Let's take a look at the design before we dig into what they've done under the hood. The Rocket R benefits from Brabus's wide star body kit, but this is so much more than a body kit. But I think even to call it a body kit does a disservice to what this car is. I've actually seen over there behind me a Rocket R being made, and there's not a lot of Porsche left on the car by the time Brabus have finished stripping it down before they start putting the wide star kit on it. These entire panels here are absolutely bespoke to this car. They give this car a completely new look. We'll start, of course, at the front though, where we've got this gorgeous multi-level carbon splitter. The only panels which remain from the Porsche Turbo S to this car are the hood, the roof, and the doors. Every other panel has been changed, altered, remanufactured by Brabus here in-house, almost all of it in carbon fiber. So, moving around the side, we get to what I think is my favorite detail of the Rocket 900R, these spectacular forged wheels with these gorgeous carbon turbofan accents here. Brabus brake calipers, of course. Fully adjustable, in-house developed coilovers have helped to give this Rocket R a far more sporty stance than the standard 911 Turbo S, though this car is of course still adjustable using the little control on the steering wheel, so you still get the functionality that you would associate with a 911, but no mistaking, this is a Brabus. Let's carry on moving around the side. So I already said that this panel is completely bespoke to the Rocket R. Of course it is. Look at this great big carbon detail which sweeps all the way from the hump point here all the way down to being just a few inches off the ground, and it's fully bespoke carbon with fans here. It's functional. Air is moved through the turbofans, in through these and out through these. This is all downforce. This is all real mechanical engineering. This isn't fancy. This isn't a body kit in the sense of the word of being visual but having no practical application. This is working, and it's also giving this car, I think you'll have to agree, a completely different look to any other 911, not just Turbo S. We'll move past this beautiful, beautiful extended rear quarter here, which I think gives an additional 60 millimeters of width. Another obviously beautiful turbofan wheel. To this, speaking of things that are different, a Turbo S with a ducktail spoiler. Of course, this isn't a standard Porsche ducktail spoiler. This is a Brabus ducktail spoiler with an additional carbon lip at the top. I also think that this is worth mentioning. These exhaust tips are 3D printed. And there's also, as the designer described to me, a 5-step process. As you look down this car, you get 5 different distinguishing layers of carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's beautiful from every angle. There are no bad angles on this car. The carbon rear diffuser, of course, is absolutely gorgeous. And look, whilst we're here at the back, let's talk about the engine for a second. As I mentioned, the Turbo S started life with 640 horsepower. Well, of course, in being a Brabus product, the engine had to come out and had to receive the Brabus treatment, didn't it? So out went the Porsche turbos. In came larger VTG turbos, as well as uprated internals and a whole remap, giving this car a 900 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. That is, and I don't say this lightly, unhinged. The Turbo S, a spectacularly fast car, obviously comprehensive, obviously it's a Porsche, it's a 911, it works spectacularly. No one said it was underpowered. And then Brabus came along. I cannot wait to drive this car. In fact, what am I doing? It's time to drive the Rocket R, only the weather had turned. It was wet, very wet. Safe to say I wouldn't be pushing the car too hard. But if anything, this would prove as a valuable test as to whether this Brabus 911 could still claim the practicality of a regular Porsche. The rain may have dampened my hair, but not my spirits, because I am in a Brabus 900R Rocket. Their 992 Turbo S derived 900 horsepower monster. And let me tell you, it's every bit as good as it sounds. Every single bit. What I think is incredible, the amazing thing, the masterstroke that Brabus have managed to achieve, is they've dialed in all that extra horsepower, all that extra torque, and of course these extra luxury elements without dialing out what makes the 992 Generation 911 so good. Even though this car is on its own Brabus developed suspension, still rides like a Porsche. even though it's on those extra large wheels and the ride height has been dropped, it still has all the same modes as the normal 911 does. I'm in wet mode now because it's raining, and let me tell you, I'm glad that wet mode still exists. As much as a driver I want to be in Sport Plus with the traction control off, etc., etc. In reality, with 900 horsepower, I want to be safe. But that doesn't mean we can't try a little 0 to 60 action and see what happens. Oh, I can't. It's far, far, far too powerful for a road like this, a situation like this with the rain and the leaves. What I can tell you, though, is this car sounds spectacular, both the induction noise and, of course, that gorgeous exhaust note from the 3D printed exhaust. It's a funny thing about Porsches. The gearboxes are spectacular. The PDK is probably the best gearbox you can buy on a road car. And yet, with these 7 and even 8 speed derivatives, you're kind of left thinking, why? I don't need that many gears. They sound so good. In 3rd and 4th gear, you never really want to go above that. I'm sat here in 2nd gear now, doing 60 kilometers an hour. Listen to that. Just listen to that. Of course, we can't talk about this car without talking about its exterior. And again, I understand that it might be polarizing to some. But again, I think what they've done, quite amazingly, is make this car feel a bit more special. I love the addition of the ducktail, and actually the fact that it works. It's actually adding to the aerodynamic downforce effect of the car. It's quite impressive, and it's gorgeous. It's really nice looking. I love all the carbon fiber at the front and at the rear. I wouldn't love having to pay for it if I curbed it, which I inevitably would, were I to be driving it all the time. But I love that they've done it. I admire so much the way that Brabus haven't been daunted by the fact that they're messing with an icon, that they're taking on one of, if not the most iconic sports car in history, and putting their own spin on it, something that they've not done with a 911 before. Very cool. They should feel proud of the fact that they've managed to implement their own language, design-wise and engineering-wise, without nullifying the great work that Porsche has done in getting the 992 Turbo S to this point. But as Brabus so often does, they've seen where Porsche have taken the 911 and they finished the story.